Folks, how you doing today? My name is Brian Bender and I am your humble farmer, and I want to thank you for stopping by today. Today is the Friday, May 21st, 2010. An absolutely gorgeous day out today. How many times have you driven by or visited perhaps a graveyard, cemetery, and thought to yourself, and maybe I'm the only person that's ever thought this, thought to yourself, how many of these people here thought in their lifetime when they were among us, how many people thought that they were irreplaceable? And how many of you think you're irreplaceable? I want to touch on a story that kind of exemplifies what I think leadership is, and also kind of ties into the I'm not replaceable theory, which I think is false, and I'm going to tell you why. Back in probably, I think it was early 2000s, maybe 2001, 2002, I was active duty in the Navy at the time. I had just arrived at a duty station, Eugene, Oregon, at a reserve center. And whenever a military person replaces somebody else, there's this turnover period, about 30 days typically. And the individual that I was replacing, since it was a reserve center, and I knew that I would have people that would be working with me throughout the course of the next 3 or 4 years, I wanted to find out who they were. So it's kind of like you check into a new job or whatever, and you're going to be a supervisor. You want to find out who the people are that are going to be working, quote unquote, for you. You want to kind of get the skinny on them, right? Now, I'm not the type of person who believes at face value everything that somebody else says about other people. I believe that the best way to figure out about other people is to get to know those people. So when I asked this guy, well, tell me about everybody. So he goes on and starts telling me about everybody. And he says, well, I got this one person, she is absolutely, and these are his words, shit hot. Now, I'm not talking about good looking. I'm talking, she apparently was a great person and an amazing storekeeper, as my profession was in the Navy. And he's like going on and on and on about her and how she walks on water and all this other stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool. So then he gets to this, he goes a bunch of other people. Then he gets to this guy named Gary. And I'm not going to mention Gary's last name, but that is his name, Gary. And he says, Gary. Now, Gary is a dirtbag. Gary is a worthless sack of human flesh. Gary comes in home here weekends, reads the newspaper, doesn't do a damn thing, takes up space, breathes my air. I mean, the guy is going on and on and on about Gary being a complete loser. And I'm thinking, wow, that's a lot to say bad about a person. Okay. My first real weekend, I get to meet all these people. That individual that I'm replacing is long gone. And so I do with these people what I have done in my entire career at that point in time, and that's to sit down with everybody individually. And I asked them a couple questions, and maybe you'll recognize this question in some of the other blogs that I've done. But I sat down with them and I said, what is it that you want out of your career in the Navy? And I shut up and I listened. And I just listened. Now, the person who was shit hot, whatever her name was, because I've completely forgotten, she came up with some of the weirdest things that had not a damn thing to do with her job, the Navy, or anything else. Now, I'm not going to put her down for, coming up with an answer. It was just not an answer that I was expecting, let's put it that way. All the other people. Then we get to Gary. Gary was last. I saved him for last. I said to Gary, what is it that you want more than anything? What is it you want out of your career with the Navy? Gary looked at me, didn't even hesitate. He said, I want to advance to my next higher pay grade. I want to be respected for who I am and not for the rank. And I'm like, holy crap. Is this Gary? Is this Gary dirtbag, waste of human flesh, breathing air that shouldn't be breathed by anybody? I mean, who is this guy? So that was the answer that spurred me to give him this response. I said, Gary, if that's what you want, I will make it my life's mission, my next 3 or 4 years here, to make sure that you achieve your goal. All I ask from you are two things. One is that you give me exactly what I give you. In fact, I'm going to give you 150% to your 100%. I said, now the second thing I want from you, Gary, is I want you to promise me that when you achieve this next higher rank, and that when people look at you differently, not because of the rank you carry, but the person that you are, I want you to promise me that you're going to go out and you're going to find somebody who wants what you have and give it to them.